Hi friends, welcome to CR Digital Classes. In this video, we are going to understand about t-test. What is t-test? So t-test is a test which is used, a technique which is used in the parametric test. In the previous class, we understood what are the parametric tests and what are non-parametric tests. So parametric tests are basing under the assumptions. So parametric tests are the study of statistical tests regarding the assumptions, estimation related to population parameters. Under the parameters test, we have three, that is t-test, z-test and f-test, depending on the sample size. Now, when I say sample, we have different types of sample, large sample and small sample. So, under the large sample, if the sample size is more than 30, we say it as large sample. So, you can see the sample comprising of objects which are more than 30 is known as, that is more the number of observations or the respondents. If they are more than 30, it is known as large sample. If it is less than 30, it is small sample. The sample comprising of objects less than 30, it is known as small sample. So when it is small sample, we use t-test. So it is also known as small sample test and student t-test. So when the size of the sample is small, that is less than 30, it is t-test. We use t-test. So that z-test using normal distribution. When it is 30 or above, we use z-test. So once the t-test is completed, that is if it is more than equal to or more than 30, then it will be, z-test will be applicable. When it is less than 30, then we go for the t-test. So using normal distribution are not applicable because the assumptions on which they are based do not hold good in case of small samples. So when it is less than 30, which we call it as small sample, z-test is not applicable, t-test is applicable. The sampling distribution of small samples follow students t-test. Actually, it is also known as students t-distribution or students t-test. So the person who has developed this Gosset, he has made that student t-test because he did not use his name for developing these findings. He has used it as a pen name, that is student t-distribution or student t-test. So the student t-distribution has greater dispersion than the standard normal distribution. So as n gets larger, the t-distribution approaches the normal form. So it should be, the n should be less than 30. Then t-test or t-distribution. When the population standard deviation is not known and sample size of small size, that is less than 30, n is less than 30, we use t-test or t-distribution, it is known as. For the sampling distribution of mean and workout t variable, as you can see the formula, that is x bar minus mu and s by root of n. So this is the, s is here standard deviation. And also you can see the formula, that is root of sigma x1 minus x bar to the square by n minus 1. So this is the formula we use for t-test. So degree of freedom. Degree of freedom is when we are collecting the data, when the sample size, we assume that for more accuracy, we try to see cut down the sampling errors. For whatever we may be getting the errors, we try to see that that errors should be cut down. So what we do is, we talk at the level of significance like 1% or 5%. If it is 1%, that means we are treating some errors maybe 1%. So we try to take the level of significance, that is significance, as 1%. If we want to be more accurate, we try to be 5%. Then the degree of freedom, it will be 95%. That means when it is 1%, we assure it is 99% accurate. When we take level of significance at 5%, we assure it is 95% confidence level. So the degree of freedom, the number of independent variants which make up the statistics, is known as degree of freedom. So it is usually denoted by V. That is, we call it as mu. The number of degree of freedom is total number of observations less number of independent constraints imposed on the observations. You can see here example given, that is K means number of independent constraints in a set of data, N is the observations, then mu is equal to N minus K. Then hence in a set of N observations, the degree of freedom for X2 that is will be N minus 1. So 1 degree of freedom being lost because of the linear constraint, that is sigma I. Then sigma E1, that is sigma OI observed, and sigma that is expected, then is equal to capital N on the frequencies. So in a S into 1, that is contingency table, the degree of freedom are S minus 1, T minus 1. So this is about the degree of freedom. Then we try to understand t-test with a problem. Now here I have taken one problem. As I told you, there will be under t-test paid test and unpaid test. So under paid test again you have one mean and two mean. So here I am taking the problem related to two mean. You can see the problem. They say that holding size in kernels of a random sample of 10 farmers, that is two means two sets of data is given. One set is related to random sample of 10 farmers from Shimla district, that is the data given, and other one is on the basis of sample data test whether average holding size of a farmer from Shimla is significant larger than that of the Kangra. That is solution is given. Now let us take the solution. So see the solution. Let the holding size of the farmers from Shimla district and Kangra next page I will show the data. So Kangra district be denoted by suitable variables X and Y. So out of these two sets of data, one is taken from the Shimla district 10 farmers, other one is Kangra, that is 8 farmers. So one variable will be X, other variable will be Y. So here the data will be denoted, set 1 data will be denoted with X and Y data will be, second set 2 data will be denoted by Y. Now let null hypothesis, that is H0, be that average holding size of a farmer from Shimla is significantly not larger than that of the Kangra. So here you can see the data given Shimla district and Kangra district, which is missed in the previous slide. So this is about the data X values of Shimla district, and Y values we have taken, that is Kangra we are terming as Y, and Shimla we are terming as X. So all the values are given here. So according to the given formula, T is equal to X bar minus Y bar and divided by root of S square, that is standard deviation, 1 by N1 plus 1 by N2 under the root. So this is the formula for doing the two mean. So you can see the table data is put it in the tabular form where it becomes easy for us for calculating. So here I have taken X values. Here after X values, X minus X bar. So to find out this, we have to first calculate the average. So average is sum of these X values. So sigma X is equal to 85. Then 85 divided by, that is number of observations are 10, which is equal to mean is 8.5. So my average mean is 8.5. Now I am taking the difference, that is X minus X bar. So that is 6.5 minus 8.5, which is equal to minus 2, because 8.5 is more than 6.5. In the same way, 9.2 minus 8.5, it is 0.7. 7.5 minus 8.5, it is minus 1. So all the values are calculated in that way. Then I have done, that is X minus X bar whole square. So whatever value, that is 2, as it is negative when you are squaring, minus into minus it is plus. So these are the values I got when I am doing the squaring of X minus X bar. In the similar way, I have also taken the values of Kangra, where the average, that's sigma Y is equal to 43.3. The mean is, that is, the average is 5.41. So you can see here 5.41 for this. Okay. So again the same thing, I am lessing that value from y, that is y minus y bar, which is 8.2 minus 5.41, which is equal to 2.79. In the similar way, I have calculated for all the y values which are given. So here x set is 10 farmers send observations, y set is 8 observations. So that is the reason it is divided by 8, it is divided by 10. Now it is, again I have squared it, y minus y bar whole square, which 2.79 whole square is equal to 7.78. So this is how I made the sigma y minus y bar whole square, which is equal to 18.19, and x minus x bar whole square, which is 78.26. Now substitute the same values in the formula. The formula given, that is s square is equal to 1 by n1 plus n2, because these are two means, minus 2. So as degree of freedom we have taken 2, then that is the formula given, sigma x minus x bar we have already calculated, plus sigma y minus y square, that is y minus y bar whole square. Then you can see 78.26, 18.19, which we have earlier calculated. You can see 70, that is 78.26 and 18.19. Then n1 is 10, that is observations, sample size we have taken for x, that is set 1, that is Shimla district, and Kangra district set 2 we have taken as y, it is 8. So n1 plus n2 minus 2, that is 10 plus 8 minus 2. So which is coming as 94.45 by 16. So the value, the standard deviation is 6.028. Now the formula we have seen is this formula, t is equal to, now we have found out s square. Now we have to substitute in the formula, that is t is equal to x bar minus y, which we have taken 8.5 minus 5.41. Then s square we have already calculated 6.03. So this I have substituted here. Then 1 by n1 is 10, n2 is 8. So when we simplify this, we got 2.64. So degree of freedom is equal to n1 plus n2 minus 2. So at degree of freedom 16 and level of significance 5%, the values are this. So they say that hence tabulated value of t for degree of freedom, that is at 16 at 5% level of significance for two-tailed test is 2.120. So this is the table form. Now thus calculated value is 2.64, which is greater than the tabulated value of 2.16. So therefore we reject, because it is more than the table value, we reject the null hypothesis, that is H naught at 5% level of significance, and we may conclude that average holding size of the farmer from Shimla district is significantly larger than the Kangra district. So the average holding of the thing is, there is lot of variance between both, hence we are rejecting the null hypothesis. So this is how the t-test is calculated for two mean. I hope this video is very much helpful for understanding what is t-test and the calculation, how we calculate with the help of a problem. Thank you.